I'm gonna start this show myself.
Ain't nobody gonna tape you though now.
Oh. I'm gonna take out my cell phone and record myself.
Smoke by myself, drink by myself.
Welcome to another episode of Diva Court.
Hi,
I'm your host, Marcia Mignot, and with me is my co-diva. She comes with a disclaimer.
Dana's in the building.
Smith, that is.
Please, why we always? I think they know my last name by now.
They have to, because government names.
If they don't know, now they know. So forget it. Don't look for me.
We are not responsible for the things we're gonna talk about today.
And we're not liable for the tears in your eyes and your emotions.
Are you serious?
They need to seek a therapist.
Well, we're gonna talk about a little bit of therapy in here.
Oh my gosh, this episode today.
Yes.
They're gonna be all in the comment section.
Stay in the comments, please. We want to hear from you. But we do not own the rights to anything we're gonna talk about.
And I'm actually starting to believe what I'm saying.
Don't believe a thing she's saying.
Because I be lying sometimes.
You know what the worst lie is? The one you start believing when you taste.
When I say allegedly, it could be a lie.
This is for edutainment purposes only. So please look for our episodes every Wednesday because we're going to push them out just like you want to see them.
Yes.
Subscribe. Check us out, though. If you can't see us on YouTube, check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
Google us. Notification.
Google us.
Notification. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah,
ding,
put
ding.
the notification on there so it can ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
Ring my bell.
Okay, don't forget our sponsor because we are sponsored. Diva Court has a sponsor, and it's
Hey Curl. Hey Curl, hey. HeyCurl.shop.
Go to HeyCurl.shop.
Yes.
We are still allowing you better get it now, last call for alcohol. 10%
Is it though?
off. It's not.
Let's drink to that.
It ain't the last call for alcohol. That was the first call for alcohol. But go to HeyCurl.shop. You get a 10% discount off of any items you order. Use your Diva code, Diva10.
Yes.
Bill Cosby is not convicted.
News alert. Listen, crazy.
You think it's crazy?
Because last episode, we were just talking about Bill Cosby.
We were, and we had no clue the ruling was
No
coming.
clue. I don't think anyone knew. From what I read, he was in his last days of appealing anything that had to do with his sentence. And, he did the appeal for him being older and seeing if he could get out for that. And he was denied that. And this was the argument that got him out of jail compared to, that Supreme Court ruling about the Catholic Church where they had a poor argument. But give the people the story, Marcia. Give the people.
Okay, so Bill Cosby had once upon a time a case where he did a deposition. So let's talk about it. All right. So I'm going to be sued by someone in a civil proceeding, or I'm sued by someone in a civil proceeding. And they say to me, we need to take your deposition.
Okay.
And Bill Cosby said, no, that's not a good idea. I'm going to have to invoke my Fifth Amendment right to remain silent because that's a right against self-incrimination.
Smart decision.
Hey, I might say something that ends up causing me to be criminally charged.
Right.
So Bill Cosby's attorney said, great idea. Let's go to the district attorney and ask the district attorney to reach an agreement that if you sit down for this civil deposition.
Pause. Bill Cosby's attorney went to the prosecutor.
They made a deal.
Why would he do that?
Because your attorneys are smart enough to know that there are times where you might be saying something in a civil proceeding that could lead to you being criminally prosecuted.
So why he didn't just plead the fifth when they asked him questions?
That's what he wanted to do. But they said, no. We will allow you to take this civil deposition and you don't have to plead the fifth because we're going to sign an agreement that no matter what you say in that deposition, it will not be used against you. We will not prosecute you.
So was he setting up his defense?
No, what he should have set up is a big fence, a fence around himself, and he would have known not to fall for the deal.
So you think he should have just pleaded the fifth, period, and not taken the deal?
Well, not necessarily, because if your attorney reaches an agreement, I expect the prosecution to honor that agreement.
Right.
The problem is the prosecutor changed. And under the previous district attorney, the promise was made not to criminally prosecute him if he sat down to take a deposition for this exact same person.
Right.
Who decided, guess what? And not only that, the deposition was confidential. So it was sealed.
Right.
So there were lots of agreements to protect the
NDAs.
client from incriminating himself.
Right.
And they broke every single law to incriminate him and to use it at trial to convict him.
There should be a lot of bar complaints and canon complaints because that shouldn't that be a complaint against the prosecutor who decided?
It should have been. It should lead to some type of sanction against the current prosecutor because I think it was unconscionable to say, I don't care what the previous administration said, because you take your office with what you inherit. If you inherited a case where somebody said, I'm going to null pros this case, I'm going to dismiss this case against a defendant, new prosecutor doesn't get to come in and say, I don't care what the old prosecutor says, I'm going to re-indict you.
Because that would be double jeopardy, right?
Well, it's not double jeopardy unless a jury, remember, for double jeopardy to attach, you actually have to have a jury sworn, right? Or called your first witness if it's a bench trial.
Okay.
And that's when jeopardy attaches.
Okay.
So in this situation, it would be the state saying, we're not going to go forward with prosecution in this case, and we're going to null pros this case, and we're going to dismiss it. And although they're within the statute, if they're within the statute of limitations, the new district attorney comes in and says, we're still within the statute of limitations. We don't care what the previous district attorney said. We won. This is our office, and we're not honoring any agreements that were made prior to us taking office.
So let's talk about this judge who just allowed this immunity, because I'm pretty sure that this immunity agreement was presented during like motions hearings.
Oh, it definitely was.
So what's going on? Shouldn't the judge be penalized, or is that just the judge just made a wrong decision, let's just turn it over?
That's the problem with the judicial system is most judges get a slap on the wrist if they do, because what they'll say is that the judge has discretion. And the judge used his or her discretion, although this ruling is saying that you abused your discretion.
Right.
So I think whenever a Supreme Court has to come back and overturn a conviction, or an appellate court has to come back and overturn a conviction, I think the trial court should be sanctioned.
Yeah.
I think they should be sanctioned because that's going to encourage judges to do a better
follow the
job
law.
and follow the law and to err on the side of following the law. Because when I heard that they were using his deposition transcript, I said,
you were
the video deposition, the one that he had agreed that he wouldn't be prosecuted, and they kept yelling, judge, the attorneys kept yelling, you can't use this, this would be unlawful. And the prosecutor was like, we don't care what you agreed to, we're going forward.
Whose hand is in your wallets?
No, what's in your
pocket? Whose hand is in the judge's pocket?
Is that a commercial? What's in your wallet?
Yes.
Whose hand's in your wallet?
Whose hand is in your pocket?
You can't do that. I've always said that we as officers of the court or the tribunal or the judiciary, judicial branch, whatever you want to call them, should never be so desperate to get a conviction of someone we believe is guilty of a crime. That we ourselves are willing to violate the law
Integrity.
and almost commit crimes ourselves.
Wow.
How can we sit in judgment of others when our conduct mimics the
exact
conduct
same thing.
of the person who we think is immoral and unethical, and you can't do that.
I think that with everything being laid out and seeing this from without the emotion added, I think this is a slap in the face of the Me Too movement. I think they were just so quick to just push that in reality, this woman, now we have to say allegedly, who was an alleged victim.
Right, because she's no longer a victim.
She's
now
not
that the courts
longer a
overturned the
victim.
conviction.
We have to, so let's go back. This woman said that she was drugged, but after this alleged event happened, she went over to this man's house more than once, had dinner with the family. She's sleeping with the husband and having dinner with the husband and the wife. And she went back over the house more than once.
She did have a relationship after the
Yes.
alleged incident. That, to me, is extremely confusing. I am not an expert in victim psyche.
Yes.
I don't know how that works. I just know that I was raised in the type of environment that if somebody
You talking about like logic?
Yeah, logical environment. It says if somebody has been sexually abusive to me
That's not
or
apparent.
violated me, yeah, and I'm not a child, and this is not my parent where I don't have anywhere else to go,
Right.
and this person does not have authority over my life. I am free to go. I'm an adult female,
Right.
over the age of 30.
Over the age of 30.
Over the age of 30. I can understand you saying somebody's 17 or
Right.
18 and they're
Right.
impressionable and it's easy to, to convince that person or
Right.
sway that person or to stalk that person in a way that would cause them to
Right.
just succumb to your stardom or to your pressures. But after a certain age, you can't make that excuse, in my opinion.
And then this I believe women. Well, what if there's some women that shouldn't be believed? Like,
yeah, I don't.
we
subscribe
can't.
to that.
Everything can't be blanket. Me too. I believe women when women lie.
Yeah,
Because
they do.
that's what human nature does.
Correct.
So
People lie to get what they want.
They do. And I'm not about to walk on no eggshells. I just think that it could have been a setup. You get drugged allegedly without consent. Because of course we're not gonna say he wasn't using Quaaludes. We are
Correct.
very much aware of that. So you get drugged without your consent. You have a sexual intercourse experience that was without your consent, allegedly. Then you go back to the house of this person more than once. Then, I don't know how long after, you decide to sue him civilly. You don't ask for criminal charges.
Correct.
You decide to sue him civilly. What attorney have you been talking to? Because I'm pretty sure you don't know how depositions work. So you know you need some type of evidence because the only evidence that you know that you have is your word versus his, right?
Right.
So you know that Quaaludes was a part of the experience. So it's your words against his. The attorney is asking questions of Bill Cosby that could be criminal.
Right.
And he admits to doing Quaaludes, but the way the attorney is asking these questions can just come off as if it wasn't consensual. Did you give her Quaaludes? I did. How did you administer them to her? They were in her drink. No further questions, Your Honor. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We got what we need.
we got what we need.
We're done here.
We're done. We got you. And then, so you are able to get your check because you were advised that the only way we can get him is he admits to it in order for you to get your check. And because he's not going to admit to it, you're not going to have a criminal case first.
Right.
So we need to go through this way.
Backdoor.
We need to backdoor it in.
So we're going to go civil and then we'll go criminal.
Yeah.
And then we'll find a judge and a DA that would do it for us.
Yes.
That's-
They probably, listen, follow the money. They probably campaign for, is this the prosecutor or is this like the assistant prosecutor? Like,
No, this is the prosecutor.
So this is one that was
BBA.
elected.
Yeah.
This was an elected
The
official.
elected official.
I'm pretty sure there's some kind of campaign.
So if you were able to get the campaign contribution
Yes.
list,
I'm pretty
I want to
sure.
check out the
I
campaign
wanna check out the-
contribution list
yeah.
of the district attorney to see if the attorneys
Yeah.
contributed.
I also want to say this, And I don't care if y'all come or not. I'm going to say it. Listen, there's no sympathy for me if you decide you go into a married man's hotel room at a late time of day who has this reputation. He had the everybody knew he was giving out Quaaludes. Stop acting like back in the days y'all wasn't smoking cocaine and drinking and taking Quaaludes.
Well, there was a casting couch, and I don't know. They don't call it that anymore.
Listen,
but there was a casting couch.
It was a free for all. It was not just casting couches. It was we getting it in. We smoking this dope. Let's run these lines of cocaine. Quaaludes was the ecstasy of that time. Stop acting like y'all doing this now. This is a drug culture now. Like, it is so big of a drug culture now. And they were doing it back then. So don't come to me 41 years later talking about, he gave me Quaaludes too, because you wanted them. That's how he got the girls.
Don't you have to take them?
You got to take them. Look, I didn't watch a couple of movies. And from what I done seen, they kiss them off. They be having it on their tongue, and they just be they be passing them tongue-to-tongue action.
When I say whoa, I mean
I'm just saying, that's what they do. They be having the lines of coke, just sniffing it up, having a good old time.
Hollywood is known for drugs.
Listen, when I was growing up, just say no. Like, it was no to crack. Crack was whack. Cocaine, we weren't even thinking about cocaine.
No, that was awful.
Weed.
Marijuana was a big deal.
But even in my, like, I was 80s baby, so when they was really pushing this no drug culture, it was like, no weed, no smoking stinks, yuck, nothing. It was so nothing. Nowadays, I be talking to some of my alleged coworkers. and they
y'all not really coworkers. Y'all alleged coworkers.
Alleged coworkers. And they be just talking about how they be just, not they, but like their friends be doing partying and be having cocaine. Oh, it's nothing. I'm like, cocaine?
Are you serious?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, cocaine? Like, one step away from crack? Like,
no,
you
right
could
next
probably
to crack. That's not a step away. That's right.
You probably would take crack if you could take cocaine and you ran out of money. You'll take the crack too, because the crack give you the better high. Like, they own all types of drugs. People own all types of drugs.
And matter of fact, prescription drugs now probably.
Yes, that's what I was about to say. They popping Adderall, Xanax, Valium. They popping pills. So don't sit here and get on your high pedestal talking about he was giving Quaaludes. What's the medical word for Quaaludes? Valium? I mean, what is it really? What is it?
I don't
know. Look that up.
Clueless.
Look it up.
Look it up. You gotta drink
I'm pretty sure. Watch it be something like the equivalent of ecstasy. And then everybody be like, oh, I was just on ecstasy the other day and I had sex. Maybe I was raped. I don't know.
Yeah, it's too much.
Can we drink to that?
We can drink to that.
That was a whole tirade.
That was a tirade. We drink to her tirade.
It was a tirade. I'm not believing women.
No,
I'm not believing women. I'm not on this Me Too posse group. I believe evidence. And
what you want to believe.
Go ahead. Tell me what I should believe.
You want to believe the evidence that's proven. And what you're saying is, it's not that you don't believe.
Right.
Because the allegation, you have to at least believe the allegation, right? Mm-hmm. In order to investigate. Let's start there, right? So she makes an allegation and you say, okay, I'm at least going to believe her allegation. But before I act on the allegation, I'm going to investigate because I want to make sure that my suspicions or that my belief in her statements are accurate.
Right.
So I'm not going to incarcerate someone, or I'm not going to put someone in jail and request that bond be denied and leave them there until we go to trial, knowing that trials take sometimes a year, 2 years before you ever get your day in court because they're backlogged. God forbid, it's now COVID where we're really backlogged. 2 years, probably, maybe even more. When are we going to dig out of that? And you're so adamant just on an allegation.
Right.
And you're doing that as a prosecutor, even though you know the law says that this defendant, whether male or female, because remember we have same-sex marriages now and same-sex relationships, whether male or female, is innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
How could you say this person should be denied bond when you have nothing other than words from somebody's lips? And we all are old enough to know people lie.
Yeah.
People use the judicial system as a way to get back or to control individuals.
Right.
I've seen that in my career where individuals are, oh, you're not going to listen to what I said? Okay, guess what? I'll just call the police and tell them that you raped me.
Right.
Oh, okay. My parents are going to find out about this. I had sex in high school. I'll just say that young man in high school, he raped me. And somebody's life is getting destroyed. I mean, really destroyed. And that's a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I want to make sure that we delve into this. We go into it deep because let me tell you something. I'm a woman. I have nieces. I don't want my nieces exploited. I don't want my nieces assaulted. I'm not sympathetic to true victims, but I say we still have to vet the allegation.
We do.
We have to vet these allegations. They're getting so rampant now
Yeah.
that the allegation alone is destroying people's careers. It's destroying people's lives. It's destroying people's families. Wives are divorcing their husbands because they're like, I can't stay with you on this.
Right.
It's too much. It's psychologically too much. It's too much for my children. It's too much for me. And I just think that is grossly unfair.
And you know what? I shouldn't be ridiculed if I don't believe all women. Like
But you can't believe all women.
I know, but that's
some of them
what
lie.
I'm saying is that is the culture now. Like if I say, oh, I don't know if Bill Cosby, oh my gosh, I can't believe 41, all this, they give you all of these things about why you should, if I don't know you, I don't believe you.
But that's emotional. What they're asking you to is have an emotional reaction instead of a rational reaction or a reaction based on substance, a reaction based on evidence. And that's what's not happening here. So I am kudos to that Court of Appeals that said, no, that's not right because a Fifth Amendment right is such a sacred right. And we are not going to allow you to violate it by influencing or tricking someone into thinking, oh, don't worry about that. You can waive it. We're going to honor it. And then you turn around and say, sorry.
He wasn't Mirandized.
You don't Mirandize at a civil deposition. That's another thing. You know what I mean? If this were questions by law enforcement, whole different ball game. You understand? Even law enforcement, they don't allow to trick you into thinking they're not going to use stuff against you. Law enforcement says, hey, you have the right to remain silent. What you lack is the capacity, and most of y'all do, because y'all still talking. Oh, let me explain myself out of this situation. Hold on. Let me show you the video. Don't I look innocent? No, you're going to prison.
You see when I'm driving up, chasing him down the road, I was
Can't
helping.
do that. I can't do that. I cannot do it. So kudos. I totally 99.9% believe that the Court of Appeals was going to overturn it. Also, remember he had a hung jury. Bill Cosby had a hung jury the first time. And when they realized they could not get that job done, they went out and picked up other women and put them on the bus. Irrelevant evidence was used in the case. People are talking about situations that had nothing to do with the night of the incident or the incident at issue. Prior bad acts were being used, and under the law, you can't use prior bad acts. I mean, they went crazy, and I think they went crazy because when you have a movement, you understand, whether a Me Too movement or a Black Lives Matter movement. That's another thing too. Is just a crossover for a second. We have to be careful that the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't get so broad, painted with such a broad brush that people stop believing it.
Wait, hold on. Have you read their mission statement?
No.
Read their mission statement, and then you can understand why they hop on everybody's movement. It's not. Just read the mission statement. I'm just saying. But
that's my point. My point is,
but they down for their mission statement covers everybody. You know what I'm saying? It covers.
Well, I think what they want to be is inclusive. So although they're saying Black Lives Matter, what they're saying, we want it to matter like all the other lives. And it's not right now.
Well, they include like we promote we're against traditional households and families. Like it's just a lot of it's a lot of.
Sometimes you lose focus when you go too big.
That's what I'm saying. I mean? It's a lot of murkiness. I mean about it getting painted with too broad a brush to the point where it becomes discounted. So when you say it, people go, discount. Well, the thing is that technically, let's stick on this topic because that's a whole nother topic for another day. And maybe Black Lives Matter, something just like we said about Bill Cosby. it's gonna come to light, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's another topic for another day. But
So
yeah.
Bill Cosby, do you compare him to the R. Kelly situation?
I don't. Like, I think that the Bill Cosby case was all these people having a good old time.
So you think adults are in the Bill Cosby case?
It was adults in the Bill Cosby case.
And is it your difference is going to be based off of R.
Age.
Kelly with children?
And I mean, when I consider a child
Alleged children.
anybody under the, my child is gonna be a baby for me for a while, but
All our children are babies for us forever.
I just think anybody under the age, the basic age of 18.
Under 21? Oh, 18.
Under 21.
Okay.
No, I can say 20. Here's the thing. The reason why I say 18, because legally
Right, you're an adult.
you're an adult. 21, 25, technically you're at a place where you're cognitively able to see problems and understand why you would do this, this, and this. I think 21, you're still kind of pliable. You can be manipulated. You know what I'm saying?
But
If
I've
you're
seen 40-year-olds manipulated.
I know, but if by 21, if you ain't figured it out, you're going to be manipulated for the rest of your life.
18, because you're getting ready to go to college.
I still feel like you
you-
can get manipulated. I just feel like while you're still in your college years, you're still kind of growing and kind
Trying
of
to find
figuring it
yourself.
out. Yeah. You don't know. You can be fooled very easily. Those are your cult years.
I'm not
Those are the
sympathetic.
join the cult
I'm not
years.
sympathetic. I watched the R. Kelly docuseries, and I was very disappointed because I looked at it not through an emotional prism of a mother or the emotional prism of a
Black woman.
of a black woman, or I just looked at it from a legal perspective.
You have that.
And-
You have that capacity. Because
Well, you
I
have
looked
to.
at it from a black woman's perspective. All black.
If you look at
black
it from
black
if
on
you
black
look
on
at
black.
it from a legal perspective,
That
you
was
have to
black
say,
on black crime.
there's a difference between a pedophile
Mm-hmm.
and a predator, right? Because remember, a predator can go after vulnerable women with emotional issues,
Mm-hmm.
or women who have had some type of trauma, childhood trauma, or I was molested as a child, or
Right.
whatever the case may be. So I know that predators don't necessarily go after children. So when you're talking about R. Kelly, and I looked at the docuseries, I only found one child, and that one child is Aaliyah. And she is deceased.
And he should have went to jail for that.
No, but the thing about it is,
The statute of limitations.
not no statute of limitations. She's deceased. He married her, and the marriage was not lawful. And the reason it wasn't lawful because in that state, a parent would have to consent to her getting married.
Right,
So they annulled the marriage.
But the fact that he was on record in a relationship with an underage girl, he should have been charged with the crime.
Right. So, they could have.
Right.
But for whatever reason, I don't know if she was an artist or because she was in the
But
entertainment
see,
industry.
and that's my issue with R. Kelly, is because I see you. It's like, you know how you have blatant racism and then undercover racism. So you got blatant pedophilia, and now it's like
undercover predator.
Undercover. Exactly. So it's like, I see you. I see what you're doing, and you're preying on black women. And I feel like because he's an industry guy and everybody in his circle knew what he was doing, and because they were black women and they're easy accessible and they didn't have obviously a good foundation behind them, he preyed on those women. He was a serial predator.
But to be honest with you, when you look at the docuseries,
No.
there's not a child in there other than a deceased one. And you cannot charge him with a crime for a deceased child. So you couldn't charge him for Aaliyah.
Right.
You understand? Not only that, everybody in there in the videos were over the age of 17. The youngest person was 17. I'm talking about that docuseries. I'm not talking about any other situation that we don't know anything about.
So
or didn't make.
17 wouldn't be considered.
Well, you have to get to what is the age of consent. And the age of consent is below the age of 17. You understand that? So that's the problem. In some states, the age of consent is 14.
When I hear songs like, I don't see nothing wrong, or show me some ID, age ain't number the number. These are all songs that he done wrote. You remind me
Those
of my
are
Jeep. All these objective songs.
Those are hits.
Those are songs.
Let's not play with each other.
That told you.
Look at
I
here.
like young girls.
I'm not letting R. Kelly
And
babysit nobody.
my mind's telling me no.
But let me tell you
I know,
something.
leave this young girl alone. But
Those-
my body, my body.
You know what I call those songs? Hits.
They are hits.
Hits.
But then nobody knew that he was rocking them songs while he was messing with them young girls.
But here's the thing. Somebody did know.
They did
There
know.
was situations where the parents.
Listen, he would not have been in there so long. When it was this is what I'm talking about. If those were all white girls, it would have been shut down. If he would have married Taylor Swift when she was 14, the whole situation would have been shut down.
Oh, so you think it's discriminatory based on race? That the reason why no legal action or criminal action was taken against him because his alleged victims were
when it became
females?
cool to be black, which was in the last year or two, it's been cool to be black. You know, Black Lives Matter. Oh, well, let's open up the door to see what R. Kelly's doing because we knew he's messing with these black women all this time. Everybody in the entertainment industry knew. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even have a problem with the entertainment industry. I have a problem with the parents. In
I
this
do
situation, one of the individuals that was
But see, if they weren't children, why are parents even involved?
Because your mother and your father wants you to be so famous that they're willing to take you to R. Kelly's house and drop you off.
Wouldn't that mean that the parents are responsible?
That's where we stop. We stop right there.
No, but if your mama has to drop you off somewhere.
No, it's your mom and your dad. That's the sad part. This was not a single parent situation where you could say the mother is desperate. She's from a low income or a low, situation, a bad situation, or she's from an abusive relation, so she doesn't know any better. So because of that, and she never had the resources, she's desperate to get her child some help. This is a mother and a father. Right. And then the parents, when they sent this child to go and
see that word child.
That's my point, because they sent her with
and it was
her older sister.
So it was a child.
Sent her with her older sisters, like 16 years old.
But that's the thing. So
sends the 16-year-old with her older sister. So the older sister is over 18, right? And they sent the older sister so the older sister could police the situation. When the older sister calls back home and says, hey, they're starting to lock me out of the meetings. Only her is going to, the parents flew in, right? And what did the parents do after they flew in? They signed over guardianship to R. Kelly. Hold on, sir. You want? Oh, you can't legally molest without our signature? Where do we sign? I'm not sympathetic to that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sympathetic.
You want your kid to be a star so bad that you want to deliver them to a predator?
I'm
Go
sympathetic
right ahead. But I'm not prosecuting that predator for you.
No, I'm sympathetic to the child because you have
defects needed to come in and get the kid from the parents.
Right. But what I'm saying is that there's still a crime being committed. No matter if I gave you or the kid ran away or the kid wanted to join the circus, it's a crime being committed.
What are you talking about?
If I have to sign over guardianship, then obviously you can't say you could be having sex with older men.
No, my point is, who said he's having sex? That's the problem. Is evidence again is what we need, and the kid never said.
I don't see nothing wrong. That's who's saying. He's saying it.
Trust me, he could say whatever he wants to say.
Show me some ID before. Why I gotta show you ID? Why she's that young when you gotta show ID?
Once again, with your hits.
Listen, I know I look young, but ain't nobody asking me for no damn ID.
Yeah, they are. They're asking me at Publix when I try to buy alcohol.
Kudos to you.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah, restaurants too. What's up with that? What's up with that? I'll go to a restaurant and they're like, ma'am, can I see
Well,
ID?
Back when I used to be a server, the
law.
laws.
We're gonna have to drink to that. When I was a that's the key word, y'all. When I used to that's the word of this episode.
They actually taught you discrimination because they said against older people. They
Don't ask the old people.
If this person does not look like they could be somebody's grandmother, gray hair, kind of walking in a crunch, like they have to
don't ask for ID.
Ask everybody for ID. I don't care how old they are, but they have to look like they've been in the war.
Well, that's good news. That means this diva don't look like a grandmother.
No, whoop, there it is.
Thank you.
But I say all that to say, listen, he been saying this for a long time. It's his diary. people.
I am not
It's his diary.
sympathetic to family
I don't understand. How can Bill
members.
Cosby's deposition be used against him, but R. Kelly's testimony in his songs?
Did she say testimony in his
testimony.
song? Who would know that all artists out there making music is giving testimony?
All his
This
songs,
diva says.
all his songs sound like
So hold on.
pedophilia.
Are you saying that Boyz II Men and the Gap Band and all those artists
Let's put-
that have
Pull up a list of 12 play. Pull up that list. Every song on there sound like I'm into young girls.
Ma'am, what is young? Remember, young could be 18.
Well, that's the thing. I'm talking about the 17-year-old.
17 is not young, according to the law in Illinois. It's the age of consent. Hello? Is this thing on? Y'all hear that silence over there?
I'm giving her the eyes.
Radio silent is what I hear.
I'm giving her the eyes. Not my 17-year-old.
17, age of consent, Illinois. Thank you for playing Please Try Again. You don't have a lawbreaker
We
there.
don't know when he got them girls started.
So now we're going to dig up evidence. Now we
don't know
got
when he
facts,
got them
not in
girls started.
evidence.
I believe black women.
Did she just say she not believing women? This show just started.
I believe
with her
black
saying,
women.
I don't believe women.
Wait a minute. Wait
I
a
believe the
minute.
black
Hold. Wait. First of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
I don't believe women, but I believe the black ones. I told you I'm alone believing like my sisters.
Can you believe
My
this?
sister.
I can't believe this while she's believing
playing.
that.
I'm just
You
playing.
started the show with I'm not believing no women unless I have evidence.
No,
Just
I
because-
said I'm not believing no women unless they like related to me or my sisters.
and evidence. You didn't say anything
And
about
then I
evidence?
need to see evidence. I mean, and I can believe you, but that don't mean you're gonna get convicted.
Okay, so I need some evidence.
You gotta have
is Still
evidence.
on the table?
The evidence
I
is
just
still
wanted
on
to
the
make sure.
table.
But let me tell you something. 17 is the age of consent.
Mm.
That docuseries they did not have anybody who was under the age of 17. In fact, it included
They
someone who
probably
was a
didn't get all the
radio
girls.
personality in her 30s.
Where are all the young girls? Well, they probably got paid, so they shut up. Unlike the one in
That's
the Bill
your parents'
Cosby
fault.
in the Bill Cosby case. Wasn't the way he got like all of this publicity around it is because he stopped paying somebody?
Who, Bill?
No,
R. Kelly?
yeah.
I didn't
How
know
did his
that.
case come to light?
I don't know.
I thought it was because he was paying.
He was paying child support.
He was paying child
I'm going to
support.
take your kid, you sign over guardianship, and I'll pay you some child support.
Yes, and they
While
stopped
I'm
paying child support.
Here's what the problem is. Having sex with a 17-year-old is not molestation in Illinois. Sorry, people. Thanks for playing. Please try again. R. Kelly needs a bond. Let him out. Stop taking your children to him to make them famous because he's not made not one hit star that I've seen.
He made Aaliyah.
Not one that
He
I've
slept
seen.
with her. You got to
Not
be
one.
younger, allegedly. You got to
Not
start at a
one.
younger age because Aaliyah was like 14. So you got to don't go there when you old and dried up at 17. You got to go when you're like.
Oh, father. Don't allegedly go
Allegedly.
when you're under 17.
Don't go at all, allegedly.
Don't go at all, please, people.
Just
Stop
don't go at
pimping your
all.
kids.
Please
stop pimping
stop
your kids
pimping your
and asking
kids.
prosecutors across this country that really need to be prosecuting real crimes in their jurisdiction. Busy with you because you have some star you're angry at and you want revenge. Stop taking your children over there, and it won't happen that way.
You know your girl Oprah tried to put him on blast. She ain't put Harvey Weinstein on blast.
She's not going to do that. What complexion is Mr. Wayne?
Is Oprah your girl?
I thought you would not go there. Kasim Reed is under federal investigation. Do you think that has anything to do with the fact that he says, I want to be mayor again?
Are we prophets?
Federal investigation.
I think we're prophets because we just had this conversation.
Sure did. We
And
did.
I said it's just
We
a
did.
matter of time before they
Watch
put him
the
under
episode, please.
investigation.
Go look at episode 10.
It's just a matter
We
of
did
time.
say the fact that he said, I'm going to run again.
Oh, they about to
They're
get him.
going to come.
They coming.
He built it and they're coming.
He sure did. And then this time he got smart and put it on the cover of his birthday.
Birthday gifts, honey.
Yes.
Those are birthday gifts. That's not campaign money. I can do what I want to do with it.
Exactly.
Under federal investigation. We knew that was coming.
We knew.
We knew that was coming. We suspected it, sir. Had you been watching Diva Court, you'd have known they were coming too. Don't miss the episode.
Wait, if William Barr did a thorough investigation and went through his whole life, why are we doing this again?
Well, it depends. Do you still want to be mayor? Or do you want to back out of this campaign? You can be free and we can stop investigating, sir, if you stop running.
There's that.
What's your pleasure?
There's that.
No, we said it was coming.
Do you think that this is going to deter good politicians? I'm not
Let me tell you
saying
something. There's no good politicians. Let's start
These
there,
things are true.
Okay? So the only people who are going to be deterred are people who are actually going to do the right thing and are concerned that people will make up things against them,
Right.
falsely accuse them of crimes, and they'll end up in prison. So those of you know what they do? They back down. They said,
Yeah.
I wanted to make a difference for the citizens of my state or my county or my municipality, and I'm not going to risk my freedom and separate myself from my family. I don't want it that bad. Y'all can have it.
'Cause
the
if-
real corrupt mafia,
they know how to play the system.
cartel, oh, they're not going anywhere because they know what's in their wallet.
Wait, they know they're the ones sending the feds
Hello?
to their opponents.
Thank you.
Word on the street.
Yeah.
And they send
Right.
it to their
I
opponents.
own the feds, so I send the feds to my opponents. So I don't care about y'all bringing up and digging up stuff on me.
Y'all want me to
I
sign
mean,
this?
stop for a second.
Y'all want me
Do you
to sign
remember
this
before
bill?
Governor Deal, one governor in Georgia, how he was in debt and that he had some debt that he had co-signed for his daughter and son-in-law that was coming due, and he did not have the funds to pay that debt? Is Governor Deal a millionaire now? I'm just asking questions.
I don't have any answers.
When did you know you could go into government to become a millionaire? You can now,
Ask the Clintons.
because most everybody that goes into government now,
Ching ching. You know,
let the cash register ring.
you know, Nancy Pelosi is a millionaire too.
Like I said, there's something in government that's got money all over it.
Yes, it is.
We're not doing that. Supreme Court says NCAA compensating non-cash is permitted. What's your take?
You know, I was gonna call that the modern day slavery, but
You
that would actually
you were gonna call it that,
Yeah.
or you just did?
no, because that would actually be the NBA.
The NBA is modern day slavery. They get big checks. NCAA
They-
is the modern day
let me
slavery,
say this.
honey.
Let me say this. We'll get there.
You can't get to the NBA.
I
You
know.
can't get to the NBA.
Let me tell you why. Let me just say why. Because they can trade you. They can take you away from your family. You have no say where you can live. You know what I'm saying?
You have a say. You have an agent, and you can say, not enough money to make me sign on that dotted line. You have choices. Unlike
guess.
NCAA, I don't have a choice. These people are saying, I can't have anything. You can't buy me a laptop. You can't help pay my tuition.
So-
you can't help.
So let's backtrack that. The NCAA, modern day slavery.
Boom. You get a drink today. NCAA. Like Moses told Pharaoh, I'm gonna need you to let God's people
go.
The Supreme Court did say, though, they can get laptops, they can get tuition, they can get anything educationally related. And I think we're getting there. We're getting there because right now they could not. And that's a good thing. So what you want to do is buy them a trailer load of laptops and let them go sell it.
Via Bitcoin where they can't trace it.
Hey,
allegedly.
sell it.
Well, they tracing Bitcoin now, so
They
maybe
are.
not.
Because you know, somebody who got the colonial Bitcoin.
The colonizers.
The colonizers Bitcoin had to give it back. So it didn't work out for them. Okay? The federal government figured out where it was.
True.
Yeah, I'm with that. I think the team players for the NCAA, the money, the schools are making between
Millions.
1.5 and 2.5 million dollars. This
Yeah.
is a school. This is not the NCAA.
I think that was 1.5 billion in 2019.
No, that's the NCAA's portion.
Oh.
They
yeah.
made the billion with a B, and the schools are
Billions.
making
200
hundreds
and
of
hundreds.
million.
Hundreds of hundreds.
Hundreds of millions. So
Binders and
150
binders.
million to 220 million.
Yeah.
Those were the numbers.
For the schools.
I was like, what? You're making that kind, and these kids can be injured and career over. No guarantee to go to the NBA. In fact, the percentage who actually make it pro
It's 3%.
is not a lot.
like
I mean, that's
3%.
evil, man. That's evil. That's modern day slavery. Let them kids go. Let them kids make their money.
Let my people go.
I'm gonna need this
I wonder-
Negro spiritual.
I wonder, did the slave organizations of yesteryear decided to change the game and join the NCAA? we can use the same business model.
No, they cannot.
The same business.
It's not
But they
right.
have been. How many years has that been going on?
Lots.
And how many? Although these are majority white plantation schools. Plantation schools.
Plantation schools. Planting schools.
Plantation schools. Plantations.
Is that the speech impediment? The
Schools, plantation schools. Plantations or schools. Plantations or schools. You be the judge. But these are majority white organizations.
Texas A&M is white.
Schools.
Is Texas A&M white?
I don't know.
Okay.
I figure it's in Texas.
Your producer said they're white.
Well, we gonna go with what he says
Is Alabama white?
all day.
My
Michigan,
God. What?
Michigan, Georgia, all
Got
of these
to be more
schools,
careful.
and the majority of the people who play
are black.
are black.
That is correct. You know what? You won that one.
What?
You won that one.
Marsha.
Yes.
Got
The reason
that.
she's so excited is because she never wins here.
I won. Let me tell y'all, I won that last bet. Y'all-
People who win bets don't pay. They collect.
Listen, when the people are really,
Yeah.
that's what we doing.
Yeah, she said-
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Crispy too.
When the people are confused by your lawyering, you know, I am not a trained lawyer.
They were
okay?
not confused by your betting. Because you don't know how to bet.
Listen, Juneteenth is nothing. Look, it's so nothing that we already on the July 4th. Ain't nobody even thinking about it.
Stop that. We enjoyed our Juneteenth, and we are looking forward to 2021, where we're going to turn up for Juneteenth. Celebrations are going to get larger and larger, just like Martin Luther King
You have to be
holiday.
a federal employee to get paid.
No, watch everybody else get the holiday. Wait, it was just one day before. You at least got to wait to 2021, and then you can talk about it. Next episode. No, not next episode, next season. We'll see what happens next season on.
What are we
Court.
seeing? What were we seeing?
We're gonna see.
What we
Juneteenth
seeing?
is celebrated. How would Juneteenth?
We was already celebrating Juneteenth.
Oh my goodness, not we. The feds weren't, and the rest of the government wasn't.
Oh, so white people weren't celebrating Juneteenth.
Right, and now they have to. Thank you. I'll take it.
Kudos to us. Wow.
Celebrate
Target
us.
and Walmart about to get paid. Who runs those organizations?
Are you trying to say it's not black people? Is that what the Diva say? Target is
That's
not run
that's
by
where all the
us?
money coming from.
When I go to the register, I see somebody be like,
But you know what? Those corporations was like, they were probably the lobbyists that was pushing, like, yeah, we can make so much money. Yeah, we'll just get that
No,
t-shirt.
they're
We'll
busy.
be pressing out t-shirts all day. It was so bad that on Facebook they said, please buy your Juneteenth t-shirts from the black owners
and not from the white ones.
and not from the
Wow,
corporations.
I didn't know that. Hey,
They said, we got to have all these t-shirts. They're going to get lazy.
maybe they can promote. But Juneteenth is fantastic, and it's a good way to relieve stress for black women, just like Dr. Inger Burnett Zeiliger says about Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. This is a book.
I guess
that's
you on that
written-
Negro spiritual now, huh?
Hello? I don't know what that was. Oh, my God. Took over my body. Dr. Inger Burnett Zeiliger, or Zeigler, if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, wrote a book called Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. It's a book about the stress of black women and how they shall relieve that stress and how to look for signs of trauma and stress.
What were the signs?
Well, one of the signs was stress,
Shortness of breath.
shortness of breath. I think it was shortness of cash. It should be shortness of
I'm
cash.
like, if you got shortness of breath, take a deep breath. Like, breathe in through your nose.
They said scared to go out. She says one of those systems is scared to go out. Now
If
look,
you're scared,
have you ever been scared to go to the bank?
if you're scared,
That's anybody that's broke.
if you're scared, go to church.
How about scared to go out? Scared to go to the bank?
Who's scared to go out?
Scared
Like,
to go
what?
out.
Who are these black women?
Stomach hurt?
Get some Midol. What we doing?
It's the symptoms.
Get
of
some.
stress.
It sounds like PMS.
It just sounds like everyday mundane stuff.
Right.
So, what do you think? Is it a money grab?
I think it's ridiculous.
I'm gonna write a book.
I think that book is not written for black women.
Well, you know she made it on Good Morning America, so she said you wrote it for your sisters. Now, what we're trying to find out is who her husband is, because her name is hyphenated. And we couldn't tell. We were trying to see, is it a brother?
Now with no Ziegler.
Ziegler. What if it is?
Ziegler.
Ziegler.
What black man you know with the last name of Ziegler?
One that was captured.
What? Listen, if those items that she listed were not that serious, what is the black woman's kryptonite?
All black man.
Well, what is he doing to cause her all this stress?
Marrying a white woman.
Gotcha. I knew so, but didn't know where she was going with it.
That is episode number 11.
Hey,
it was so good. We had to end on that note because we'll drink to that
And go forever and a day. Okay?
Don't forget
Oh, please don't.
to look for us every Wednesday.
Because we almost forgot. So
yeah,
you
we
don't
forgot. Don't forget. Please don't forget. Every Wednesday we're pushing out an episode.
Right.
Please check us out on YouTube.
YouTube.
They've freed episode 6. Please go take a look at it.
Check
it's
it
waiting
out.
for you to comment. That was a good one. Please don't let our work go in vain. Comment to us. Tell us what you want to hear about. Tell us what you want us to talk
Yes.
about. Don't forget to subscribe.
Subscribe.
Check us out on
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts,
Apple.
and Google Podcasts.
Just Google us. Like, put us up there in that algorithm.
Hey,
Hey. I don't know if that works like that, but hey, it sounds good. I sound like I know what I'm talking about.
It did. But she don't know what she's talking about.
A little
But
bit.
we're still going to drink to that.
Yes!
Episode 11.
11 it is.
She was drunk. I always have a drink left.
Is that it? Are we cut? Cut it.
Can you do it?
Cut it.
Can you splice it, Myron?
Cut it.
Is it going to look funny?
Cut it. The price is way too high. You need to.
You ain't got to splice it? We got to drink to that.
Cut it. Cut it.
were snickering, and it was hilarious. That's why I didn't want to laugh at You got to use that. That's all.